hey, I should do the watch says I should do 4 minutes quick now, but you're looking ahead on the road, completely dark, you have no headlamp, it's ice probably, don't do it. Welcome back guys, I hope you're doing well, I hope you have a fantastic week of training and exercising. Another topic, another week. This week we're going to talk about the training changes from summer to winter. So let's get right into it. One of the major differences is of course darkness, so daylight, and climate. Those two ones are going to impact the training and you need to know how to deal with it. So let's address the darkness first. So first it's going to impact your mood a little bit, your motivation for training, all those things. We're going to address in another series, Athlete Mind series. I'm going to launch that once a month. But the other physical one for orthopedic, for your legs and your body itself, the darkness means it's going to be a bit more tricky to run in the dark especially. So you need to make sure that you run in the light. So if you do intensity runs in the darkness, the risk of twisting your ankle, having an injury through that just really quickly goes. And that's going to impact your consistency, that's going to stop you from reaching your goals. So don't do runs in the dark with intensity. You can do slow ones with a headlamp especially. Always take a headlamp, that's an important factor. Next to the darkness we have the ice and slipperiness of the road. So make sure you always take the right way of shoe work. You can even use some spikes underneath, they're going to prevent you from slipping on the ice. I found some really nice ones, they're quite common in trail running. With those I could even do sprints on pure ice, I didn't slip once. They are going to impact a bit the calf muscles because it's a bit harder, it's not a soft impact. So depending where you run, choose spikes, choose trail running shoes and just be smart out there. If you notice it's too slippery, although the session says, hey, the watch says I should do 4 minutes quick now, but you're looking ahead on the road, completely dark, you have no headlamp, it's ice probably, don't do it. Don't do it, be smart, don't be injured, it can be pretty long with twisting your ankle or anything else that happens, so that's about that. Then another one we have to talk about is the cold. So the cold are going to impact how your muscles warm up and the tendons itself, so you should make sure that you always have warm clothing over it. Take maybe a bit more time to warm up if you feel like your body isn't there, especially when you do intensity. If you just do an easy jog, you can probably just go how you feel. But if you have intense sessions and your warm-up says 8 minutes or 10 and you feel like you're barely warm, you're still freezing, your legs still feel heavy, just extend the warm-up, do some strides, do some technique work so you really got a light sweat going and you feel like you're ready for the actual work. Another one for the winter time is maybe you need a little break from the season. Triathlon is a tough sport, it's 3 sports. Combine that with your work, your family, all those other things, social life you want to do, your other hobbies, whatever that is. Maybe you're just mentally drained, maybe you're physically drained. And in the past I took up to 4 weeks off, basically just doing what I wanted to do. The old coach always said only things allowed like chess and other games like that. So that can be really good for you. For consistency can be actually great because it's a long journey to get fitness, and depending where you are with your goals, depending how you are in mental fatigue, it really depends all on those things. But be honest to yourself, because if you keep going, if you say so many goals, you're still hyped up, you're just gonna take 2 days and then get back into it. By the time it's March or April, you might be mentally pretty drained, and that's where the real work starts if you have a summer main event triathlon, European summer. So yeah, take rest if you need it. For my case, actually, I was honest to myself, I don't want it, don't need it. I found out through the old work situation with the CEO position and all that I don't even stack up fatigue so much because it's not maintainable. I'll just blow up and burn out, what I had before happening. Mental depletion, you can call that. On a weekly scale, I want to make sure by Sunday arrives, if I already dread next week, there's like, oh, how am I going to do any of that? Like the mind is not shutting off. Then the week I didn't I didn't do the balance right. But yeah, in the future I might take it again, but right now I just feel like I'm nicely rolling, I feel balanced, so I'm not taking a classic off season. So another thing in the winter time is it's a time where racing for most people is not happening, maybe some small run events. So that means it's not a lot of specific work, and it's a great time of the year to focus on your weaknesses. Your weaknesses might be in different areas, it might be a specific sport. So together with your coach you can go through that, say, hey, we're gonna do a swim block, bike block, run block. Very common things to do, but they work. Another one could be maybe you had some injuries this season, some overuse injuries, nothing like an accident. Maybe you should go back to that, hey, go to the root of the thing. Why did my runner's knee happen? Was it just too quick volume increase or intensity? Or why did it happen? Maybe there's some underlying weakness, most likely is. I can tell you from experience from many hundreds and thousands of patients and myself. If I have some orthopedic thing coming, let's say it's a knee, I just check the whole chain, it's called chain. So I check the hip, strength, mobility, I check the knee, strength, mobility, muscles, and the foot, the most important ones. If you can't do that yourself, which I can't either, I need a specialist for that, I go to Halle 41 Sport Physiotherapy in Zurich. It's a great one, great physios, but wherever you are, you can go to visit a good physio that has experience with sports. That's very important, I repeat, and he can check you through, see what kind of weaknesses you have, and that he tailors a specific mobility gym plan for you for the winter time, so you can really build on top of that in the early season with probably more run volume, less risk of injury. It's all out there, many things are proven. It's a discussion, but I promise you, you will feel better, and it's also nice to mix things up. Another thing that might be stopping you is your recovery. So like I said, winter time, you can analyze the whole season. It's anyways bad weather. Instead of just filling your brain with Netflix and other things on the couch, maybe take some time for yourself, just sit for half an hour, just get a piece of paper out, write a few things down, how the year went, are you happy in your life, what is going well in sports, what is not going well in sports, maybe go to the root of some things. And many people just think about the training, hey, I need this training plan of 20 hours to reach this goal, no problem. Kobe Bryant said it, nail the basics. Nailing the basics means the lowest hanging fruits of recovery. That means sleep, eating and drinking. Those three, if you do those really to 100% or 95%, you can probably skip the black roll and the massage or some other things you can skip if you do those well. First you have to do those well before you start thinking about going 3 times a week to massage or all that stuff. Let's go into the lowest hanging fruits. So the lowest hanging fruits means let's go to sleep first, the obvious one. Make sure you sleep your 8 hours for sure. If you can, on days in the weekend, don't set an alarm. Let your body wake up when it wants to. That's a big one. Take naps, even 8-minute naps. I took a lot of 8-minute naps when my days were 14, 15-hour days, maybe longer. I couldn't do it without naps and proper diet. I would have blown up in short time and I would have been out of balance. I would have been a bad leader when you're out of balance and nothing would have worked. And I wouldn't have grown as an athlete. So yeah, sleep, biggest one. Get your 8 hours minimum. If you can, 9-10 hours. It's gonna be the biggest reward. I noticed just the other week again, I had my calf was a bit stiff or there. I just slept, I think, for 11 hours and everything was gone. I didn't stretch, I didn't do anything. It's basically like a healing phase for your body. Everybody knows it, but maybe you have to experience it for yourself again what good sleep does. Next one is diet. You are most likely eating too little. I'm saying it right away. If you're a triathlete, you're most likely under eating. I was for many years. In another episode I go a bit deeper in nutrition, what I know about it. I'm not saying this is the only way or anything. I'm not advising, I'm not a specialist in diet or anything. I'm not saying anything I don't know anything about. I'm not saying from my experience, and it's 100% individual. No matter what anybody says, don't just go, hey, carbs, hey, carbs are bad, carbs are good, fats are good, fats. It's very individual. Very individual, you might be different, but you need to figure out what works for you. And very important, calorie out, calorie in. It's that simple. If you want to lose weight, maybe 500 calories less, but that's very difficult to track. So suddenly you're 1,000 less, and then you're already burning the matches. You're going in a so-called catabolic state, and your body is deteriorating and you're not getting better. So it's a nice fine edge. Rather eat a touch too much than a touch too little. General advice. Wintertime, you can review your goals. You can look ahead for next year and select a goal, something that really fires you up. A goal needs to be a thing that gets you out of the bed in the morning, that's on the edge of not being realistic, because if you know 100% you can do it on an early morning when it's snowy and cozy, you're not gonna get up. So it needs to be a big goal if you want to, and how to achieve that goal would be one. Again, get your piece of paper out, write that goal down, and talk to your family and friends about it. Is that realistic? Because it's gonna require maybe more training, more recovery. I actually wanna say recovery before training almost, at least in the same. Lowest hanging fruits, as we said, and then you split that goal down. Very simple. You go from macro to micro. So let's say, okay, I need a 6 month block of X training. You can consult with a specialist, like a coach in this case, and then you go to micro, like a weekly scale. How does a week need to look like that you're not tipping out of balance? That's also a big one. You can't just be like a robot. Nobody's a robot. Even Mike Tyson, who pretended to be the toughest in the world, he was deeply insecure, and we are all human. I'm human, everybody's human, everybody has their thoughts. You just need to be realistic that you're not tipping out of balance in a weekly scale, because you will not progress. Mind and body are connected. If your mind is out of balance, your body is not gonna do well. It can recover and you're not gonna get better. So mind and body is not two things, it's one thing. So find a good rhythm for a weekly schedule. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you had learned something, I hope you had fun. You can always ask any questions below, and make sure to share it to your friends and subscribe. That really helps me out. Have a great week, good training, and enjoy, have fun. See you next time.